take on the world. Standing tall, we gotta make it our own. No waiting around. Winners would never look down. No one can stop us, we got it. The future is right in our hands. Give it 100%. We gonna take on the world. Yeah, we gotta move. Speaking the truth. Yeah, paying our dues. We making the news. Yeah, we hitting the roof. No, we don't wanna lose. Climbing and shaking the walls. We gotta break all the rules.
What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Another rendition of the Jag Wire. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew Grieve. We have our two other hosts right here. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name's Josh Allen. Second best Josh Allen in Jacksonville, but if the rumors are true, I might soon be the only Josh Allen in Jacksonville, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm Cody Cold Gaming. You can find me on that on Twitch and stuff. And I'm the only Cody Cold in Jacksonville. So there's that.
Well, cool. So it's Thursday. Typically, we like to do this on Tuesday, but some things happened with Facebook Live, so we're here on Thursday. But I think that was a bit of a positive thing that let us kind of digest a little bit better what happened over the past few days. First off, the surprising to some, most, I would say, James Robinson trade to the Jets. What do you guys think about
that? I kind of get it, but just the whole thing seemed weird and oddly disrespectful to James Robinson. Sort of as is the case with the Jaguars, it was handled in a very tone deaf sort of way. Just look at the statement that the Jaguars put on their social media. And then I guess James Robinson himself published like a full-fledged article about how much he loved playing here. Just look how inept at communicating and handling things our team is my thoughts. What do you think, Cody?
So with me, I went through the 5 stages of grief. It was denial. I didn't believe it. And I had to fact check that. So I found out that it was true. I was angry. I broke some stuff. I thought about burning a jersey. I still got them.
Well, it's not his fault. Not his jersey, right? Like, I mean,
no, not his jersey. Minshew's jersey. I don't know. It's not his fault either, but it's just the one I had. Bargaining. I was thinking maybe maybe the Jets don't want him. He'll just come back. I don't know. Depression.
Maybe he'll feel it's physical and it won't go through.
Yeah. And then it was depression or whatever. That's when I talked to you guys first, and we're going to start this podcast on Tuesday. All the way up until now, acceptance. And then hearing about this Josh Allen news, I am back at denial.
Yeah. Theo White says he was upset, and he feels like it was disrespectful also. So, yeah, Theo, same, buddy. Same.
Yeah, so it was interesting. During the game on Sunday, I thought it was odd that James Robinson wasn't getting really any touches. Like we had seen in previous games, and even especially last season, where James Robinson just didn't see the field. And I think that was a huge level of disrespect. This past Sunday, when he really wasn't touching the ball very much. Now, I know ETN was going off, but in the back of my head, I was just like, are they just not playing him because they want to trade him? I mean, it passed my mind briefly. And that was about it. And then I had heard people talk about it in the few days afterwards, and then it came to fruition. I was extremely upset and disappointed as a Jaguars fan when it initially came out, and I'll be honest, I've kind of warmed up to it. We obviously don't know the whole story. I hope that there is no story. I hope it's just a business move, and it has nothing to do with like drama on either side. I hope it was just, listen, we have we're giving you an opportunity to go to New York. They're 5-1. It's a winning team. They desperately need a solid running back. ETN looks like to be our future, so I'm hoping it was more of the win-win versus like, we just don't believe in you. We didn't draft you, so peace out. I hope that wasn't it. But I wish they would have done a little bit more class, kind of like you said, Josh. been a little bit more thankful because I mean, for the past few seasons, he was the lone bright spot on our offense.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah. I just, with Urban Meyer last year, the way he handled James Robinson was par for the course with how he handled everything, right? He had no real experience running a team. Didn't seem like he knew what he was doing in many different ways. The disappointing part this year was that Doug Peterson, you would think, would know better, at least how to handle. I'm okay if Doug Peterson said, listen, James Robinson's style of running does not fit my offense. I'm okay with that. That's a business decision on the part of Doug Peterson. But if he just you should know how to handle that, right? Like, and it just felt like weirdly disrespectful when they put him in the game. There was a goal line stand where they put James Robinson in the game, and then they ran a design run to Trevor Lawrence. Like, some of it just felt weirdly, either purposely or inadvertently, disrespectful, right? I just, it is what it is. From a pure transactional perspective, an undrafted guy who has an injury, getting any sort of a pick for him, you could say is a trade up in terms of value, right? Especially when he's going into the last year of his contract and he's going to want to be paid because he has performed. And then, they feel they have a guy, Hasty or whatever his name is behind Robinson that they feel can do what they would want Robinson to do in the offense. So I get it from a logical standpoint, but it's just weird. It's just weird.
I think for me,
weird at the time.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I just felt weird at the time when I heard the news. I was like, it's very odd.
I think for me, like, even if it is a win-win, which I think, I hope he does well in New York. It'll be interesting when we play them, but I think the weirdest thing for me is it wasn't necessary. Like, why? Like, he's a productive running back on a rookie contract, an undrafted rookie contract. Even if the guy wants a lot of money, why let him go now? Let him get paid next year and use that asset now. I mean, he's good. I believe it'll end up being a 5th round pick because I think he only has to run for like 250 yards and it moves up to a 5th round pick. And I mean, what is 5th round pick going to net us? We don't even draft good in the 1st round. So let's keep the guy that's balling out that we undrafted, right? That we signed undrafted. So I don't know. To me, it's like, yeah, that you can find reasons, but why?
Yeah, I guess that's sort of my thought too. Said differently, you better be right. You better be right that that's the right move to make, and that he couldn't add anything to the offense, and that you're getting more value there by trading him than you would by keeping him. And you better be right that Travis Etienne is going to keep putting up the numbers that he's putting up, right? And Travis Etienne missed his whole rookie season due to an injury, and God forbid, I don't wish an injury on anybody. But what are you going to do if Travis Etienne goes down now? Now you got nobody, right? Where you had a 2-headed monster before that you could have used if you'd wanted to, at least for this season, until you figure out who to replace James Robinson with if you let him go in free agency. Because that was my thought too. Like, people are like, well, they got to get something for him. Well, you could get something for him. You could get production out of him this year. Like, this team is not so far out of contention that some sort of a decent run is completely out of the question, right? It's going to be hard. Like, they've dug a hole for sure, but like, it isn't, they aren't so far out of the woods that they couldn't try to do something. And but I mean, it is what it is. It's over, it's done with, and we'll see, starting on Sunday, we'll see if they're right. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I think part of the problem is I'm not in the front office of any NFL team, but over the years we've seen that the value of the running back has gone down each and every year.
Yep.
And part of that's because I mean, look what we did. James Robinson is a prime example. A guy went undrafted and he was a baller, arguably one of the better running backs that came out of that draft. And so every year you can almost just close your eyes and pick a running back and him do well. Now, I don't know about Snoop Connor. If I would have seen any running back traded, I would rather have seen that guy go away. But is he even on the team anymore? Has anybody heard of him? Has he?
Yeah, he's on the team. Like? He was inactive on Sunday.
Okay.
He's on the roster. Yeah.
He's on the roster. He'd probably be better off just putting chlorine in the pool. I think he'd probably be more effective doing that. That's
How
a
many
pick I wasn't
years
a
has
fan
he
of.
been in the league? Like, how is that? I don't even know. Like Snoop Con, like, he. Yeah. The problem is I don't think anybody would even give you a 6th-round pick for him. Like nobody wants him. We don't even want him. Like, I don't want him.
Again, I think it just boils down to why it makes no sense, but whatever. My biggest issue is ETN. The guy can ball out. I just don't think he's an every down back. We needed that change of pace. We needed the guy that you can put on the goal line and just pound the rock in and get it in there. Whereas ETN, I think he's more of the wiggle guy, right? Make the cut and run. So I don't know.
And that's where we're having the most issues, like in the red zone, like on those goal line stances, or whatever. We got it somewhat figured out in this game. But would I rather put the ball in ETN's hand on that situation, or would I rather Robinson like go in for it, whatever? And I would put it in Robinson's hands every time. And I just and that to me is like, what's going on here? What are you doing? What's the plan? Because we're in a position right now where the team can start rolling and start getting W's or whatever. And I still like somewhat believe that, but we're also in a position where we could just lose this season out. And that's, you don't take key pieces away when you're in those positions. And I'm just wondering what's going through their minds right now. And that's why the whole Josh Allen thing, I'm still in the denial stage of it, because if that happens, then they're for sure trying to just get draft picks and get through the season, and they're not trying to win.
Yeah, that's my concern there too, right? So that sort of dovetails into the Josh Allen rumor. And just to be clear, what was said today about Josh Allen is that other teams were interested, not necessarily that the Jaguars had him on the trading block or were even looking to trade him, right? But Josh Allen is generating trade interest or buzz. I forget what the exact wording was, but I do think that for me is a sign that if they trade Josh Allen, they've given up on the season. I don't know how you take that other than to say they are, tanking at that point to see what they can get. I think we're in line for either this. If the season ended today, we'd get the 7th or 8th draft pick. Not that we know what to do with draft picks when we have them, but we got a new commenter, Will Hatcher, my man. What's up, buddy? Yeah, it's your fault that I had to sit through that Texans game, but I appreciate you inviting me. That's my man. Will, longtime Jags fan. He works in the evening. Otherwise, he'd be a person that I'd have come on the show also. But I don't know if I don't know what that means. It's so hard to. I don't know. Are we trading Josh Allen? I don't know. There was a rumor today that said teams are interested, but are the Jags interested? Who knows? Will thinks that they're not tanking. They plan on getting somebody better. But who that is better is available for a price that's not stupid, right? Like anybody that's actually good is going to cost too much in terms of draft picks, in my opinion. But maybe they're planning on upgrading, but I don't see how you do that.
Well, what I had heard is if they ended up trading Josh Allen, it's more or less looking towards the future salary cap, because I believe he's coming up for is this a contract year or maybe the next year? Either way, he's going to want money, right? And so I think I had heard someone say that this is more or less it would be salary cap move to help build around Trevor Lawrence.
Well, and you could argue that Josh Allen has not had the sort of production you'd want out of a number 7 draft pick, right? I mean, I love the guy, obviously, not just because his name is my name, but he has good character, right? Like he's the sort of leader in your locker room that you want. But ultimately, football is meritocracy, and what you do on the field matters a whole heck of a lot more than anything you do off the field. And if he's not producing, and they feel like they're going to get more value for him than they could by just sitting on him, and letting him play, then they'll do what they're going to do. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's a mini Calais Campbell, real good in the locker room, and he was real good on the field at times. He just,
I don't even think that Josh Allen is in the same solar system as Calais Campbell. Off the field, yes, I think good man.
That's
good
leader.
Leader.
That's what I'm talking about.
But on the field, Calais Campbell was when Calais Campbell left the Jags defense got markedly worse.
Yeah.
And they have not been the same since.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, Josh Allen could be a a huge addition, right? I mean, he's not throwing up crazy stats this year, but he's got 3 sacks on the year. We're what, a third way through the season, so close to double-digit sacks if he keeps the average up. So that could be a lot of production that, like I said, a Super Bowl potential team could be looking at. But in the end of the day, I don't want it to see it happen just because I'm still hoping that we can get this dynamic duo between him and Bonehead on the other side.
Yeah, Bonehead Walker.
Yes, he is just forever.
Listen, I don't want Josh Allen to be traded either. I don't think that's the right move. But I'm not paid millions of dollars to make those decisions, right? So
Right.
what do I,
Right, but the people that are getting paid millions of dollars to make these decisions have won us a total of 4 games in the past 2 years. So I'm sure they could pay me half the salary and I can get the same result, maybe better. but like I said, I hope he stays here. I hope that duo between Walker and Allen becomes something. Because you can't double.
I guarantee I could get. That's interesting. I guarantee I could get the same amount of roughing the passer penalties because I would just wait till the play is over.
Yeah,
as Walker, I could get the same amount of roughing the passer penalties as Walker because I would just wait till the play is over and just punch a guy in the head. Do something stupid so from that standpoint, yes, you could pay me a lot less and get the same production as they're getting out of Walker.
Exactly.
Will says again,
you got the only sack of the day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but the problem with Josh Allen is that he disappears. There are more games where he disappears and doesn't make an impact than where he sort of takes over. The last game he took over was when the Bills were in town. I think Will's talking about Calais Campbell. Yeah, we could have we got Tyson Campbell, so we could have the law firm of Campbell, Jones, and Jones. So whatever. Well, everybody with the same last name, why not?
So, any other thoughts or ideas on the heating up trade market for the Jags?
I mean, so let's end it with this. If a team came calling and the Jags traded Josh Allen for a second-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year, would you take that?
Wait, a second-round pick and then a first?
Second-round pick this year and then a first-round pick next year.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would take it in a heartbeat.
I would take that.
If it's a deal like that where somebody's desperate for the production that Josh Allen can put up, then I don't know. If the deal is right, I think they'll take the deal. If it's not, then I don't think they will.
Let's hope so. I thought Robinson would have gone for more than a 6/5th, but what do I know? One other tidbit of on this kind of same subject. Bleacher Report had an interesting article out a trade that each team should make before the trade deadline. And for the Jaguars, now they did either sell or buy, and they had sell for the Jaguars, and that was Marvin Jones Jr. It was interesting because they said Marvin Jones has kind of gotten down on the depth chart, which is true, but the catches that he does make are very important catches during the game. They typically help a drive continue on. But they're saying, move him, and that'll give more touches to ETN and all the other wide receivers, and potentially trade him to another kind of like Robinson, a team that's at least got a above 500 record. So I don't know. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is who are there? Is there anybody looking for a receiver with Marvin Jones's production right now? I don't know that there's a team that
Titans. They're looking for anybody that can catch the ball.
I would prefer we not trade our player that makes clutch plays to our
ship them up to the NFC, but
yeah.
But
even another AFC team, like an outside of the division AFC team, I don't care.
Yeah,
as much.
I just thought that was interesting. They got to pick somebody for every team, and it was their argument was intriguing to say the least. So,
dude, that Odell Beckham catch that he did.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Although their gloves, their gloves are I don't know if you guys have ever.
Oh yeah, they're super sticky. Yeah,
they're super duper sticky. But before we move on, I think we have a special.
Are we being bombed here? Oh,
we got a lurker.
Look who it is.
Is that water or is that?
Hey, how's it going?
Wow, did you get a new
Diet
hairstyle?
Pepsi.
Did you
I did.
change your hair too?
Yeah, I made it as black as my heart is right now with the James Robinson trade.
Oh,
Happy
God.
Halloween.
Thank you. Thank you. I just came on here to say that the only Josh Allen I hope gets traded from the Jag Wires is the one on this podcast.
Listen.
I'm going to cry.
First of all, I just want to say that that's rude. Secondly, I mean, is it though? Like, well, let me ask you. Did you hear the question that I just asked? Like, let's ask this question.
I didn't.
So if the Jaguars were able to get a deal for a second-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year for Josh Allen, would you take it?
No.
Oof. Why?
Because I feel like we already have enough young players. We need some veterans on the team. I think that's been part of our problem is we don't have.
Are you telling me that you don't think Bonehead Walker could lead this defense into the next era of Jaguars football?
Yeah, but not right now.
No, I don't think he could at all. I think Bonehead, and that's another debate we had. You know, I think they could pay me a lot less money and get the same amount of personal fouls against quarterbacks that we're getting out of Trayvon Walker at this point.
He's a rookie, right? Like rookie mistakes is a saying for a reason. But I think we need veteran players. We need we thrived when we had like the Pozlesnys, you know?
Yeah, you need somebody who, and I think Devin Lloyd has this potential also, who is a sort of unflappable, doesn't get caught up in the moment sort of guy. That's what Paul Pozlesny was. I think though, I hear you about rookie mistakes, but I will raise you that I don't think Aiden Hutchinson has had a single roughing the passer call that has cost his team a game. I don't know if he's had one at all, much less two that have arguably cost his team a game. So I guess my point I'm making there is if you're the number one pick, if we had drafted Trayvon Walker at like 23rd in the first round, I'd be like, all right.
Did he cost the game?
Oh yeah,
he
cost us the.
He cost us the Eagles game.
The Eagles game. Okay.
Yep.
For sure.
And then it was either one of the other games too. He had one that was on the game-winning, what ended up being the game-winning drive. He had a Bonehead roughing the passer penalty called on him too. But I don't know. I mean, I hope they don't trade him either. But I think everything I want the Jags to do, they don't do, and everything I don't want them to do, they do. So I'm gonna say I want them to trade Josh Allen because they will spite me and not do it.
I think you're just selfish, and I think you want them to trade Josh Allen because you want to be the only Josh Allen.
Listen, if you think my Josh Allen brand rests on what that guy does in the field, then you're
right,
man. I've been a train wreck long before the Jaguars.
Have you guys been on since James Robinson's article came out?
Yeah, we saw it right before.
And
that's what I said. The problem with the James Robinson trade isn't necessarily whether it's a good trade or makes sense. It's how it was handled in general, right? And you look at the tone deaf, vanilla corporate statement that the Jaguars made, and then look at that article that James Robinson published, and you'll just see the difference between how it should have been handled.
I'm gonna read it tonight, listening to emo music and really crying in my pillow.
Hold on, we have the sad violin.
You're gonna go dye your hair black?
Yeah, dude.
Emo's not dead.
Yeah, we all got to get the bangs down from our eyes too.
Where are you?
I cut my wrist and black my eyes.
Yeah, so I don't know. Josh Allen, if it was a first and second, I would take it. Because, like I said earlier, some people have alluded to the fact that we're coming up on some years where we're gonna have to start paying some players. And when Trevor Lawrence, if he turns out to be the guy who we hope he turns out to be, he ain't going to be cheap. And so if we can get as many youngsters on rookie contracts before we have to pay T-Law, the better. And ones that are skilled.
We should trade Shaq Griffin. If someone offered me like a hot dog they dropped on the ground yesterday for Shaq Griffin, I'd say, done deal. You can have him.
Can we start a GoFundMe account to buy him out?
Yeah, that's exactly what we should do. If everybody donates like $100, we can just buy out his contract and just.
We just have to get Sam inebriated enough, and send her like a wedding registry, and
Dude, at this point, I'll challenge Tokyo Jets, his girlfriend, to a rap battle. If you
Tokyo-
give me enough
Yo,
beers,
that would be wild.
call Ti right now.
Because you could win because she's terrible at rapping. She's terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yo, Mom Spaghetti.
she's maybe one of the
Mom's
top
ravioli.
5. She might be one of the top 5 worst rappers that's ever been part of that music genre.
I guess you haven't listened to Cardi B, but
I said one of, not Yeah, Cardi B's.
Oh, hot take. I like it.
like that.
That's an
I'm a
interesting stream. The worst rappers, maybe worst rappers to come out of Jacksonville, and the answer
There's
is
not very
Limp
many.
Bizkit. Limp
All
Bizkit's
of
the
them.
greatest.
Quad City DJs are maybe the best musical group to come.
It's like the only one.
Yeah. Well, Leonard Skinner, I guess you could argue.
Little Duval.
Little Duval. Yeah,
What about
he's more of a
Limp Bizkit?
comedian.
Oh
now.
yeah, the Smile song. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Oh
What-
yeah.
what
I forgot
about
Limp
Limp
Bizkit.
Bizkit?
You got Yellow Card and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Anyway, we're getting way off task here.
Shine Down, dude.
Shine Down from Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know
Huh.
that.
Interesting. But anyway, so we'll move on from these potential trades, and we'll recap the massacre that was this past Sunday. I say massacre because it massacred my heart.
All right, that's my cue to leave.
Oh,
No. Cody
this
can't
past
do it.
Sunday,
He
this
can't
past
talk
Sunday
about
against the Giants, who
I will say I spent most of that game walking around. I've never been out of my seat that much. I had so much anxiety that game. I couldn't sit still. It was so disappointing.
Well, you were one of maybe 7 Jaguar fans that was in the building, so congrats to you on that.
It was rough. Well, plus like I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. And
the great Michael Scott.
yeah. And every time I happened to get up, we were playing well. So then I was like, maybe if I just not be there.
Same, Theo.
Yeah, Theo says 1 yard short. Yeah, dude, I wasn't necessarily crying because the Jaguars have sucked all the emotion and feelings out of me. But that was definitely
Pause.
listen. We're sitting here week 7 saying the same thing we said 5 out of the 7 weeks. The Jaguars were in a position where if they had just get out of their own way, they would have won that game. They just get out of their own way.
Cody, was it you on Facebook this week that shared, "You can't break my heart, baby. I'm a Jaguars fan"? Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
Somebody posted that on Facebook, and I LOL'd. I LOL'd. Yeah, and it's facts.
Oh, I wish it was me then.
Thought it was, but it's not. Be funny better.
Oh, sorry. hey, 1 yard losing to the Jets, or not Jets, but the Giants. Sorry, I had the Robinson trade on my mind. In week 7, right? We're in week 7.
Yep.
Isn't as bad as losing the Super Bowl on a 1 yard line. So suck it, Titans.
Yeah, eat that, mayo lovers.
Can we just talk about? I just love the fact that the Titans have partnered with IKEA for their new stadium design. It's really nice. Have fun assembling that god awful thing with the Allen wrench that you get from from IKEA. But congrats on your particle board stadium, Titans fans. It'll be real nice till it rains.
Oh, are you talking about the new Nashville Top Golf? Because
Yeah, the new Nashville Top Golf made by IKEA.
Man, the worst thing for me this past week, I think, was Danny Dimes, Mr. Danny Dimes. Man, so the week before was we let Matt Ryan look like an actual NFL quarterback, right? And then this week we let freaking Daniel Jones run for 110 yards. 110
Michael
yards.
Vick.
So
Can I
listen,
Are you
say-
kidding me? He
Michael
played
Vick with the
zero.
dogs chasing him, dude.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
Trayvon Walker pulled the ultimate Jalen Ramsey move and called Matt Ryan a sitting duck.
Yes.
And when he did that, and I said this before they played the Titans, when he did that, he ignited the last, like you have like a lighter and you got like just enough fume left to get a flame. That's what Trayvon Walker did to Matt Ryan in the game they played against us. And I said that. And I said, you guys are not going to beat the Titans because we made them look good, unfortunately. And we sparked the last little bit of fire. And then what happens? He gets benched.
Yep.
I called it.
Yep.
I called it. I got the
Trayvon
receipts.
Walker, that's why he will forever be known on this podcast. Even if he ends up being very good, I'm going to call him Bonehead Walker forever. So you listen, don't be too hard on the Jags defense. They were introduced to a concept that apparently neither any of the players, the coaching staff, no one had heard of before, called the read option. Apparently, they have literally never played a team that has run the read option because they were literally tackling Saquon Barkley when he didn't have the ball. They were blowing Saquon Barkley up, and Daniel Jones is running 20 yards down the field with not a person anywhere around him. That's a great question, Theo White. Why didn't they spy Daniel Jones? I have no idea. But they clearly could not. They clearly had no clue when Daniel Jones was going to keep it versus when he was going to hand it to Saquon. And I don't know if that is a players not doing their job or they just schemed poorly. I don't know what the answer is, but they embarrassed themselves.
If somebody would have came back with a time machine and told me that Daniel Jones beat us on his legs, I would have called him a liar.
Yeah.
It's insane. 11 carries, 107 yards, 9.7 yard average on us. Like, that's Michael Vick status.
Ridiculous.
It's insane.
What's crazy is like either we tackled them for like -5 yards or they ran for 30. Like there was no in between. It was like we're either going to get you in the backfield or you guys can just go down the field and get another first down.
And it really was Daniel Jones's runs plus the penalties we had on defense that kept their drives alive.
Yes,
because they weren't that effective in passing the ball. They were doing okay, but they weren't. It's not like Danny Dimes was on track to throw for like 500 yards or something crazy. Yeah. But again, the defense. I don't know what to tell the defense at this point. Like I don't know if they're good, not good. I can't tell. I don't know. They're not good against the RPO, and guess what? You got a whole 60 minutes worth of game tape that you can't figure out the RPO. So guess what? Everybody's going to run on them now. They got to run the same plays that Daniel Jones ran. And I don't know if you looked at the schedule upcoming, but in a few weeks we play a little team called the Baltimore Ravens.
Watching them right now, killing it.
Yeah, on the 27th. I guess that's the Sunday after
Thanksgiving.
So the Jags have already made plans to ruin my Thanksgiving weekend. So thanks a lot.
Don't say that.
I just want to say that I am thoroughly enjoying watching Tom Brady's demise.
Oh my gosh.
No one can see your TV because you have that background on, but congratulations.
I'm just saying in general. It's,
#Sammy technical difficulties strikes again.
I made a TikTok right before this, and it's me watching the game, and Tom Brady keeps throwing. You know how I used to do those like super low, like quick throws?
Yeah.
And it's just not happening anymore for him.
Well,
and,
he's got the same disease that Peyton Manning got towards the end of his career. Now he's finally got the noodle arm.
Well, I made a TikTok about it and with the Lizzo song, "It's About Damn Time." Because I'm just anyway.
He just underthrew a pass to whoever number 10 is, Miller.
You guys think he hits 100K passing and then calls it quits?
I think he sees his potential settlement bill for divorcing Giselle, and I think that's when he calls it quits.
Dude,
divorces ain't cheap.
He just threw it into double coverage.
Your GOAT status takes a massive hit when you make a decision in your NFL career that makes you divorce one of the greatest supermodels of all time.
I will say also,
the only way it doesn't is if he ends up winning the Super Bowl this year,
which is not going to happen.
That ain't happen.
Well,
I am starting as the season progresses. So this is technically week 8 now. It was our Thursday night. I'm starting to believe the conspiracies that Giselle's a witch who put a hex on him because he looks awful.
Either that or Antonio Brown is some sort of warlock that's put a hex on him.
Or both.
The only two.
Or
they're both. Oh my gosh. Yeah. They both came from Gryffindor.
Harry Potter.
Okay, well, interesting.
Playoff Lenny. Leonard
So,
Fournette.
any other notes from this past week's game? Trevor Lawrence threw 500 times and completed 2 passes. Yeah, he threw for 310 yards, but he threw it 43 times and completed 22 passes. That just doesn't gonna cut it, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Will Hatcher just made a good point. The fumble that ETN had was pretty devastating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Trevor played poorly, other than a couple passes that were sailing high again, right?
Yeah. But he's not winning us the game. That's what we drafted Trevor Lawrence for.
He also threw 2 of the prettiest
his
passes I've seen him
defense,
throw so far this year.
Hold on. In Trevor Lawrence,
We cannot convert in the end zone.
Well,
The
hold
end
on.
zone.
Hold
What
on.
is wrong with him? He overthrows. There's a comment that came in about that. Almost picked
Yeah,
off in the end zone.
almost picked
He
off in the
gets-
end zone.
He gets nervous.
I don't know what it
And-
is. But 2 things you cannot blame on Trevor Lawrence. First of all, the 3 field goals that we just decided not to even try to kick, right? We should have taken those points. We take those points as a whole different ballgame. And before the boneheads on defense give up that game-winning drive, the Jags are winning. The Jags were winning the game until the defense decided to just have like 8 penalties in a row or whatever it was, and let the Giants march right down the field and score. So I hear what you're saying, and no, he hasn't had some sort of dominating 55-0, Peyton Manning like performance, because that's what everybody wants to compare him to. But he did not lose us that game on Sunday. He absolutely did not. The defense lost that game on Sunday, and that's the
play
second week in a
calling
row.
in the play calling.
And yes, and Dougie Peterson apparently being allergic to field goals. I think, if you had told me when this season started that the only thing that Doug Peterson would have in common with Urban Meyer is that they both hate kickers, I would have told you that's a real weird thing to say. But apparently they both hate kickers equally, because Doug Peterson will not walk his kicker out on the field to try to kick a field goal. And I just don't understand it. At some point, I was having a conversation with somebody. You've got a young quarterback who's having some confidence issues. He's overthrowing in pressure pack situations. He's not making big plays. You've got to put him in a position where you make him as comfortable as possible. And sometimes that means taking the easy points, right? Like just take those 9 points, put those back on the board. The Jags win the game. The ball game's over.
Yeah, at least like make it a challenge. Like I feel like every time you punt the ball, it kicks morale down.
Well, think about it.
Every time you punt the ball, it's like
especially and even more so when you turn over on downs. Like that's magnified when you turn it over on downs for going forward on 4th down. But if you kick those 3 field goals and you only make 2, the game's tied. And in that game-winning drive, we are in field goal range with enough time to try another field goal to win the game. It's a whole different. Like I don't know. I don't understand it. But again, I'm the dude sitting here on a podcast, not being paid millions of dollars to figure out the answers to those questions. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think T-Law still has it. Like I think he will eventually become the quarterback that we drafted him to be. Because we've seen it, like we've seen glimpses of it. I think the way he's playing, like he's playing as well as he can with what's being given him. I think he's got some talented players around him, but I think you've got a new wide receiver core, you've got a new coaching staff. You're trying to implement not just a new playbook, but you're also trying to implement a new culture after last year's toxicity. So I think there's just a whole lot going on that I will give him a pass for, but I still will give him gripe about this, throwing the ball 43 times and only completing 22 passes. Yes, his wide receivers are dropping the ball, but they're not dropping it 21 times.
Yeah, Will agrees. We should never have thrown it 43 times. We were beating them senseless with the run, and that was another thing that I remember. I was looking at my notes here that I took as I was watching the game. We would get into the red zone, and we were just beating them mercilessly with the run.
Right.
We'd get inside the 20, and then we stop running. And Doug Peterson himself has said, "Well, you throw to score, and then you run to win the game." Well, sometimes don't outsmart yourself. Like do what's working. And it just feels like I don't know.
Tom Brady just threw
Peterson's
an
not
easy
doing
fit.
it. Did he? Well,
Well,
Sky's blue, water's wet, right? You know?
Yeah,
that's
love
kind of
to
what
see it.
Peterson has talked about. Like he doesn't have like a pitch count. He doesn't need balance. He's alluded to that. Like we're just gonna do what's gonna help us win. And I don't see it. Like I feel like
they're
Well, the
kicking-
next
they're
time he
kicking
does
a
that will
field
be
goal.
the
Why
first
don't they
time.
go for it?
Yeah, the next time he does that will be the first time, right? So
I feel like they're forcing the ball down the field. Not necessarily down the field because man, Trevor Lawrence has been so bad beyond like the 15 yards beyond the scrimmage, but just run it more. I still have confidence in him. Get rid of Shaq and don't trade Allen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not overly thrilled with Trevor Lawrence, but I'm also not worried yet. Like, we'll see what happens. But people calling for him to be benched and for CJ Beathard to be the quarterback. Those people.
Dude, those people. Listen,
Those are the same people who sold their tickets on Sunday or wore Giants gear on Sunday.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
convinced. Yeah,
those are the same people that when you call Bortles the boat, they like take that seriously.
Bortles is the most Bortles of all time. That's the whole point. He's not the greatest of all time. He's the most Bortles of all time.
Right.
And, love him or
Well,
hate
the
him,
best,
that's what he was.
the best of all time.
He's the best of all time.
Yeah, the best of all time.
That's not what boat means. That's never what boat has meant.
He's
He's
the
most,
best.
Nope. He's the most Bortles of all time. That's what it's always meant. You guys are wrong.
You think he's doing construction and ripping cigs right now?
Probably.
I hope so. I hope whatever Blake Bortles is doing, I hope he is happy and fulfilled. That's all. That's all I hope for. Everybody wants to hate on Blake Bortles.
But I'm saying
Daryl says, "Is Lawrence still a generational talent?" That's a great question, Daryl. I don't know. Maybe.
Can I answer that? Can I
Sure.
answer that? The great Todd Clary, who commentates on the AFC South Fan Battle, made a great point about this. You cannot be a generational talent until you actually are a generational talent. So you can't just like come into the NFL as a generational talent. You need to prove that you can play and become. Do you see the point?
We won't know. We won't be able to definitively say if Trevor Lawrence was a generational talent until his career is over.
I think he's a generational.
Or far in. Like we need time. Like if
you can call him a generational talent. I think you can call.
Like I feel like step one to generational talent is franchise quarterback. That's step one. Is he your franchise quarterback? Okay. Then you go to generational talent. We gotta like pump the brakes on that.
And I think if anyone told you right now that they're 100% certain that Trevor Lawrence is our franchise quarterback, then I think they're not being unbiased. I think they're being a little.
And then
little bit
he said, Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning did. That's right. And then Andrew Luck literally left your team, and you guys haven't been the same since. Because I believe.
Well, people also said that Ryan. People also said Ryan Leaf was a generational talent. How that went.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Baker Mayfield was a generational talent.
Yeah, dude.
Lawrence came into the draft.
Johnny
He's a generational
Football.
talent, but
Johnny Football. Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence could be considered a generational talent. I only say that because you focus on the word talent. I think he has the talent. Now, is he considered an elite quarterback? I think once you get a few years in, that's when it changes from a generational talent to elite quarterback, right? Like he could flame out and be like, yeah, he came in as a generational talent. He had all the tools and was successful up until then, and for some reason just couldn't put together. But he had the talent.
But I guess too, like part of my thought on that is he doesn't have to be a generational talent to help the team be good, and he doesn't have to be a generational talent to help the team win a Super Bowl potentially, because there've been a lot of non-generational talent Super Bowls.
Joe Flacco.
Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly. Brad Johnson with the Buccaneers, like he was not.
Bortles in the
dude was not a generational talent.
Yeah.
Or Bortles was,
listen, if the Jags had gotten to that Super Bowl, Bortles had the potential to be good enough to win that game. He absolutely did.
I think they would have won.
Yeah,
I think there would be a statue outside if they'd made it.
I would. Yeah, I might have even had a Blake Bortles face tattooed on my arm if he'd won this franchise a Super Bowl at that point, right? And I hate tattoos, not because I have anything against tattoos. I just don't like needles. But I might have gotten one.
Someone call Blake Bortles back. I need him to play next season. Let's see what happens. I need Josh Allen to get a.
Could it? I mean, could Blake Bortles be a fullback? Everyone always said that sort of nonsense about Tim Tebow. But Blake sort of had the body of like a fullback. Like he was sort of he was like a taller Mike Allstott.
Ooh, Allstott, dude, that guy. Oof, he's one of my favorite players of all time.
One of my all-time favorite players. Him and John Lynch were two.
Kids these days just won't know how great that guy
was. Understand. Mike Allstott was like built like an actual pit bull. He was like a bulldog, a human version of a bulldog. Weirdly shaped and brutal when he ran. So
good, dude. So good. Like, could you imagine lining up in front of that guy? I'd be like, not today. Nope.
Oh, Theo says, yeah, the rhino. Yep. Mike Allstott was like a human. That's even better. He's like a human rhinoceros.
So before we move on, I do want to say support for the Jag Wire is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code. Yeah,
Fan Battle.
Yeah,
Fan Battle. But I like to pop it up there. It's somewhere in there. Fan Battle. Just use Fan Battle at manscaped.com. You get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's right. When you're in London this week watching us beat the Denver Broncos, you can order Manscaped from there, and it'll ship free there as well.
I bet Tom Brady used to use Manscaped, and he doesn't anymore. Look at him.
No. I think he just uses kale for everything.
I just have to very quickly say, Daryl Mudge, you shut your face. Don't you ever compare Blake Bortles to Byron Leftwich again. How many playoff games did Byron Leftwich win? I'll help you. None. Zero.
Zero.
Blake Bortles is better than Dak Prescott. I'll just tell you that much.
So moving into this next week's game in London against the Broncos, I do want to say before we get into it, Nathaniel Hackett is on the hot seat. And I don't know if you guys recall during the debacle that was the coaching process, the hiring the coach process, Hackett's name came up several times. And when he got picked up by the Broncos, people were like, dang it, the Jags were either too slow or he just didn't want to come to the Jags. Looking at it now, I'm glad he didn't come.
Hallelujah. That did not happen. Amen.
The guy might be a genius when it comes to being an offensive coordinator. Although if you have Aaron Rodgers, again, I think I could do a good job with Aaron Rodgers as offensive coordinator. So anyways, what are you guys' thoughts and feelings on this this English game?
Theo White says Hackett's seat is scorching, and I agree. The Broncos, there's been rumors that they're going to trade players, like key players on their defense if they lose to the Jags. I guess they're just giving up completely on the season. So I think, listen, you guys aren't going to like this. I think the long-standing tradition of the Jaguars helping a veteran quarterback get right is going to happen again in London. I think,
Don't say that.
And I hate to say it, like I just think that the Jaguars are going to they're going to cure all that ails the Denver Bronco franchise, and I'm telling you right now, I think they're going to win that game like 24-10. I just don't see it, man. I don't see how the Jaguars franchise is cursed. As an organization, we're cursed. There's no hope for us.
So is Russell Wilson, though.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here, is all I can say.
Dude, you're just filled with black pills, dude. It's like there should be a little storm cloud that follows you. Oh yeah, it's called the Jaguars.
Wait, hold on. I mean, Will says, did I miss something? Is Russell Wilson not playing?
He's been limited. He's been limited in practice. That's all.
No, he said that. Hold on. He very specifically said, and I LOL retweeted this. Hold on, I gotta. It was the corniest, like Sierra probably said. Say this.
He is the corniest man in all of the NFL.
He said, wait. Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson pronounced himself, quote, ready to roll, quote, for Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Wembley.
Ready to roll, guys.
Broncos country, let's ride.
I'm like dying of all the Russell Wilson, like have you seen
on
like
the plane? Yeah,
yes.
About him working out on the plane. Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think
this is Russell Wilson's last shot at redemption, personally. But.
I don't want to go back on what I said. If Russell Wilson doesn't play, I don't know what happens in that game. I don't know.
He'll
He's ready.
play.
He's ready to roll, man. He's fine.
Yeah.
It's-
Let's roll. Yeah, I think he'll play. You know what's interesting? I was watching a podcast the other day, and someone had some insight on Russell Wilson as a player, as a teammate.
Was it the AFC South fan battle?
No, no, it wasn't. No. Although that is a fantastic podcast, and it's on the top of my list every morning. But this
better when I'm
Pat
on it.
McAfee. It was a Pat McAfee show, and they were talking about Russell Wilson as a teammate. And they said he's actually a horrible teammate. And that
Supposedly, oh yeah, go ahead. You
when
may
you're
be
on
about
a
to
when
say
you're on a when you're on a team like this, Pat McAfee, he played with Peyton Manning, right? One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Pat McAfee said, as a teammate, Peyton Manning was readily available to any of the players as if he was their equal, which I guess they are. But Russell Wilson, I guess, treated everyone else as like lesser than him, and that if you wanted to get in contact with him, you had to go through his people. Like
yeah, none
as
of
a
his teammates
teammate.
have his
Don't
phone
talk
number.
to me directly,
His
peasant.
his people is Sierra. Sierra.
I mean, I'd love it. But I just thought that was interesting. Like, here you think you're better than everybody else. You're not. Like, I don't know. He leaves Seattle, and I don't know. I'd be interested to see what kind of culture they have in their locker room with Russell there, in Denver, making
Well,
200.
well, I mean, if you look at Seattle, it's clear that it's possible that Russell Wilson was part of the problem there, right?
Yeah.
Because they're off to a great start this year, and with largely, other than the quarterback, largely the same team they had last year.
And-
So I don't know.
Gino, I feel like that guy played at West Virginia when I was in like third grade.
Bro, doesn't it feel that way? It's like he played. It feels like he played in like the 1900s, like 1999. Like Geno Smith graduated from West Virginia. He's like, bro, are you still around?
Yeah.
Like, what?
He had a big mustache.
You remember the big push? People wanted the Jags to draft him. Like there was a lot of Jags fans wanted to draft Geno Smith. But I don't know. Man.
Can I tell you all a funny story really quick?
Sure.
My mom just shared a picture of me on Facebook from Halloween. I'm assuming I'm like 10, maybe, because the franchise came here when I was 9. And my mom's like, look what you're wearing. And I'm like, what is it? I can't see. She's like, you're wearing a Jag Wire shirt on costume day. And I said, oh, so I was a clown. Yeah, there I am.
Oh, well, that's the title of this week's episode. The Clown Parade marches on.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Jag Wire shirt as a costume.
I don't care. I like the color teal. So I'm still gonna wear the gear even if they suck.
That's like the only reason you're a fan still. It's just this color's cool.
It doesn't hurt, right? Like you got to find something, man. You got to just find something, focus on that.
Cat Williams said it best. He's like, he was talking about Jacksonville, and he's like, even their things that aren't the top are still the top. And then he's like talking about the Jaguars. He's like, fuck all the stats and accolades, Oh, sorry. Bleep that. Bleep that. All right. But that's literally what he said. My bad.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote. And then he said, they know that 2 things for a fact: their weather's better than yours, and their uniforms look better than yours.
Well, that used to be the case.
And we got a pool, you pores.
Though I will say, I've become a fan of the teal jerseys with the black pants that they wore on Sunday. That to me is starting to stick out as my favorite.
Have you Trevor Lawrence plays terrible when we wear that combo.
Plays
Have
terrible
you noticed
pretty much
that?
every week. So.
But I'm just saying, when we have the white jerseys, I think it's the contrast in the field, and I don't know what it is, but it seems like when we wear teal,
I don't
tops-
care. Get the man an optometrist. I want to see the freaking teal jerseys at home. I'm
Again,
not paying all that money and sitting there with baked ketchup all over the stands and people fighting with each other and having to deal with thousands of other fans from the other team not to see the teal color. Give me the one thing I asked for. Give me the teal.
Again, she's
I
not
agree.
superstitious, just a little stitious.
This is why I'm a fan of this team and forever will be. We may suck on the field, but we're undefeated in those stands.
Yeah. Ask Steelers fans about that. Every time the Steelers come to town, there's always a fight where a Steeler fan tries to pick a fight with the Jags fan, and they just get walloped. And usually the ones that I've seen, JSO comes in and they take the Steeler fan that just got his butt kicked out, and nothing happens to the Jag fan that beat him senseless. So, whatever, man.
So yeah,
Aw.
this upcoming week in London, the Broncos. I think I looked at the injury report for today. Jamal Agnew is the only one that was on the injury report, and I think it was just limited practice. So we should have a full capacity team at
Minus
full
Shaq Griffin.
force. Oh gosh, Shaq Griffin minus the
He's on the
guys
IR.
that
Yeah.
are on ER or IR.
He's still on the
thank
team?
Goodness. Yeah.
Jack Griffin versus Russell Wilson. Come on, that would have been great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we shouldn't have any excuses. The injury report for the Broncos was like 15 people deep. So I don't know if they're trying to make like pre-excuses for the game, but I don't know. I think we should come out with a win.
I hate that we keep getting they keep pulling us as favorites and we keep losing, and I feel like they're only doing that so they could push all the teams that we're playing against up in the power rankings, because they're always like, oh, the Jaguars are a tough team to beat. 4 losses, but they're tough.
I think that's Vegas trying to generate more bets is what I think it is, because we're never favored by more than like 2.5, 3, which is basically a wash, right?
Let's check.
But
yes, it's by 3 for the Jags.
We are favored in the game.
Yeah,
and allegedly, that's because I don't have the Broncos ever been to London? I don't know if they've played in London.
It's weird that we're favored by 3 when we don't kick field goals.
It's just fate mocking us once again,
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but hopefully it isn't like you said, the Matt Ryan situation where Wilson has his "I figured it out" party.
Yep, I hope not, but we'll see. All right, Cody, did you give your prediction? What's your prediction?
My prediction.
Oh, they were supposed to play in London in 2020, but it got canceled because of COVID, obviously. But other than that, no, they have not.
Yeah. So people are saying the Jags have more experience with the overseas flights and preparation.
Yeah, because that's helped us before. Carry on.
Negative 5 hours back. Or
listen, I didn't say it was a good reason. It's just the reason I heard someone say, right?
Well, the fact that Russell Wilson is already practicing on the plane, we should be scared.
Broncos country.
He is ready to roll.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's roll.
I'm ready to roll.
Man, I don't know like an exact score to say. I do feel like it's going to be close, but not by 3 because we don't kick field goals.
That could be a safety and an extra point.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, I don't think he's going to turn it around. I don't think he's going to, become what everybody thought he was going to be in the beginning of this season. I think the progression, it's like if we can be consistent, I don't know which Jags team is going to show up. The one where our offense is amazing and we're running the ball or passing the ball, with ease. I wouldn't say with ease, but you know what I mean. As close as we can right now. And then our defense doesn't show up, or if our defense is going to show up and then our offense can't even move, like it happened with the Texans or whatever.
Make a prediction, Cody.
It's super confusing. It's super confusing.
Say it. Say it.
So Jags by 50. That's what's going to
Jags
happen.
by 50. There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, Sam, what's your prediction?
My prediction is that the Buccaneers are going to lose this game and Tom Brady is going to retire. Oh, the Jaguar game. There's 1 minute left, by the way. So I think that we are going to come up on top of this one. And I've said we are going to lose the last few. I think we win. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I said we were going to beat the Texans. That was hogwash. Jags by 7. I say... No, I lied. Yes, Jags by 7. 21-14.
You and Cody are on the score prediction struggle bus today, man. You guys are...
Well, because it's hard because you want to you don't want to say your team's going to lose, but I think we're going to actually make some touchdowns. I say we're going to lose or we're going to win by a touchdown, no matter what, is what I say.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't see
Three
it.
of them.
Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be.
Touchdowns we are going to have. And they're going to lose. But we're going to have 3 touchdowns.
I agree. But just 10 more of those, 10 more touchdowns. So we got to get 50 points somehow.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Todd Clary commented it.
Don't even put that comment on.
Todd Clary commented, I quoted you earlier, Todd Clary, and you're not on the
Todd
show.
Clary, we don't use that sort of language on this show, sir. So if you can edit yourself, you can come on. But
Yeah, we're trying to get on
this
PBS.
is a family friendly show. 2310 is the only correct answer. Yeah, but you didn't say what team, Todd Clary. 2310 who? Broncos? I agree. Yes.
I'm going. So I think we're gonna go into this game, and I feel like the team's gonna have clarity. James Robinson's gone. The offensive coordinator is going to ETN and Trevor Lawrence to be like,
That's
listen,
true.
it's you guys.
It's not going to be so messy. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, this is our game plan. We're gonna be focused. This is our team moving forward. It's on you guys. And be like, let's do it. We're in London. Let's have some tea, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna play our heart out, right? And they're gonna win 24. So that's 3 touchdowns and 3 extra. They're gonna go for 2 every single time and get it. So it's 24-6 is my prediction.
That's a good one. Man.
And I think Wilson's gonna get benched.
They came to have tea and crumpets and kick some Bronco rear. They're all out of tea and crumpets. Let's go.
Let's roll.
That's a good one. I like it.
Hey, Todd Clare, you can say what you want, but on your own show, buddy. So get your own show, pal. This is ours. So
what was your prediction, Josh?
My prediction, I believe, was 24-10. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so we're all predicting a pretty comfortable win. I like it.
Mine's
like it a
Josh.
lot. What?
Yeah. Just for the other team. I'm predicting comfortable win for the Broncos.
Oh, you're thinking the Broncos are winning?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I think the Broncos are going to win. I'm telling you, I think this is the.
Josh Allen is to the Jaguars what John Ha is to the Titans. He's Negatron.
Okay.
You know,
Are you trying to do like reverse psychology? Like you're saying it,
I'm not
putting it out there in the world, and then
I'm not going to say, because if I was and then I said that, then you ruin it. So
I will say
Right.
that he's been saying this and it hasn't worked, so he needs to maybe try like positive affirmations and.
Ma'am, I'm not the reason
What
that
is-
the franchise sucks.
What do they
all right?
call it? What do they call it when you speak into existence? What do they call that?
Name it and claim it.
Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack-
And we need to.
Josh.
yeah, I've been doing that when I
Josh.
say Jags by 50.
Just
and
do, yeah.
No.
That's what I was gonna say. Josh, just say Jaguars by 50. Just say it.
No.
Fitty. It's Fitty. It's FIDDY. Fitty.
I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. We'll see.
What-
I'll be happy if I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be.
So you think Russell Wilson's going to have the coming out party like Matt Ryan did?
Correct.
Interesting.
Mostly because I don't believe that the Jaguars' defensive line will put any pressure on him.
Okay. Interesting.
And
Well,
also, they can't read the RPO.
does anybody else have any closing thoughts or ideas or jokes or anything about this upcoming week?
Jokes.
All the jokes will be told on the field.
Yeah, there's so many jokes.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Jags. You kind of have to include jokes at the end because we are a joke of a franchise.
Oh man.
Yep.
I'm sorry. We trade James Robinson.
If we're a joke,
You're
how come
breaking
none
my
of this?
heart, Fredo.
How
You're
come
breaking my heart.
If we're a joke, how come none of this feels funny? It just makes me sad. It's never funny. Like, please, Jags, get better jokes, please.
Yeah.
I'm begging.
Well, then we'll go ahead and wrap up the podcast. I think it was a pretty good one, as for as depressing as it was and is and will be. Where can we find everybody? Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at Josh Gives Up, also on Facebook and various other places. But
Cody?
At Cody Cold Gaming on Facebook and Twitch.
And Sam?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sammy Football with an I, and on TikTok at Sammy Football with an I, but an underscore at the end. Sammy Football _.
jeez, could you make your usernames harder to figure out?
Sammy Football. That's not.
With an underscore and then an ampersand, and then you have to have a special code, and then you walk backwards 10 steps and walk in a circle.
You guys can find me
Just don't
on
find
at Jag Wire Network. You can also find me at Matthew G Sports on Twitter, who is owned by Elon Musk officially now. But before we go, I do want to say we are going to be doing a giveaway for each of our social media accounts. That's Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, LiveJournal, all of the above. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers / followers in each one, we will be doing a $25 gift card giveaway. All you have to do is like / subscribe. It doesn't take much. We don't need comments. We don't need anything crazy. All you gotta do is just like and subscribe, and you'll be in the running for a $25 giveaway. So
Take our free money, idiots.
yeah, free money. Tell your grandma, tell your mom, tell Tom Brady, because I think he's gonna need the money here pretty soon.
They just lost.
We don't even
ooh,
care if you spam us with bots. Just get us more followers.
boss. Yes, we'll take that as well.
I
But
was going to cry in the car.
again, thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time.